This is also reinforced by the fact that just last week, a federal judge quashed all criminal subpoenas against Jerome Powell while writing that the government served these subpoenas on the board to pressure its chair into voting for lower interest rates or resigning, and that the justifications were so thin and unsubstantiated. The judge even said that the dominant purpose of the whole thing appeared to be to harass and pressure Powell either to yield to the president or to resign and make way for a Fed chair who will. But now with that out of the way, the Fed has a clear path forward without any external interruption. The second, to complicate these matters even further, one senator has been blocking the confirmation of the next Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, who's scheduled to replace Jerome Powell in May, and there is a small chance, if this gets unresolved, Jerome Powell could stay head of the chair for a little longer than expected. This means we're probably not going to see interest rate cuts for quite some time. Beyond that though, today was also the day that we received what's called their Summary of Economic Projections, which basically predicts where they expect rates and the economy to move over the next few years. And in terms of what they expect, believe it or not, their projections are mostly unchanged from the last meeting, where they anticipate one rate cut in 2026, 4.4% unemployment, and slightly higher inflation. So in terms of what this means for you and my own thoughts about what's going on, here's what you need to know. Look, we are in a genuinely unusual market. We've had oil prices that were spiking, inflation that was just starting to cool off, getting complicated again, a stock market that's been pulling back on uncertainty, Bitcoin that's starting to show some of its most encouraging technical signs it's had in months, and then finally, to top it all off, a federal judge just told the Justice Department that it essentially had no case against Jerome Powell, while the Fed holds rates steady for the second meeting in a row. But here's the part that really matters the most. Investors keep coming back to uncertainty. And uncertainty, by definition, is just going to be temporary. Eventually, the overseas conflict is going to resolve one way or another. Oil prices are eventually going to come back down. Inflation data will catch up to the new reality. And once those things happen, historically, the assets that got beaten up the most will begin to recover. That's why I'm really not doing anything differently except just buying long term. And if anything, I'm actually investing a little bit more lately while the market's down. Like, I've been heavily investing in a Bitcoin ETF since it hit 60K. I'm investing a little more into international index funds than I was like a few months ago, just because they got hit pretty hard. Does that mean they can't go down further? Absolutely not. But at this point, I'm a little more aggressive the more the market falls. I know it sounds boring.